try a new great start.
Yeah. So
Okay.
Please welcome Paulo Sérgio Pinto.
Okay, so good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to this webinar. I'm so pleased to see you all here on this beautiful Sunday. At least here in Portugal, it was a beautiful Sunday, and for you to take a little piece of Sunday's afternoon, so you to listen to me. So I guess you want to be table topics proficient. I don't know if I'm table topics that proficient, but I have a good track record on that, and I will share you some thoughts on how to be better at table topics. I will now share my screen, but before that, does anyone here want to do a table topic just for start? Anyone? Vera, what about you? You're the host, so I'm going to challenge you.
I can do almost everything at once.
No, come on, it's just a simple table topic. I'm not even timekeeping you.
Okay, let's do it.
I will. But let's say, what do you think about the influence of gamma ray on the growth of daisies? Vera Cunha.
Okay. Did you know that Daisy is my second name? I guess that most of you didn't know that. But I am Vera Daisy Cunha, or in Portuguese, Vera Margarida. But I don't know why you are talking to me or why you are asking me what is the importance of something. I know that everything I do is important for my growth. I don't know if it's the sun rays, if it's the water, if it is the relation that I have. I don't know. The one thing I know is that Daisy is one of the prettiest flowers that you can meet, and I'm not even talking about me. But daisies are beautiful. Daisies are nature. Daisies are spring. And fortunately, today was a sunny day here, and I am happy because sun always makes me happy.
Thank you, Vera. I think she deserves a big round of applause. Come on. So here we have a good example of a well-done table topic. So congratulations, Vera. So how can we be all proficient at table topics? I have some ideas that I'll share now with you. Here it is. So let me see. Here it is. Well, table topics is a trademark of impromptu speaking within Toastmasters. And if you look carefully around all the amount of information of manuals that Toastmasters have, you'll sure find some hints, some manuals on how to speak, how to do a speech without knowing the theme forward. So I have these easy five-step formula for you to become proficient at table topics. The first step is, of course, the most important one. You have to listen. Listen carefully to the table topic. Within club meetings, the table topics master will ask some of you to go on stage or here in Zoom to volunteer to speak. And then they will tell you a theme for you to talk. Now, these themes can vary widely. I mean, they can go from a simple word, and I remember being a topics master in a contest, and the word was just flower. And I choose it on purpose because it sounds exactly like flour, which you make bread, and a flower, like a daisy. But as a contestant or as a table topic speaker, I should listen carefully, right? Active listening is one of the first things that we learn at Toastmasters. So the first step is to empty your mind of concepts, listen without prejudice to what the table topics master is saying to you. Okay? So this is the first step. Listen actively and without any preconceptions, without any prejudice. The second step and this is a step that where you might gain some time to think, is to confirm the table topic. Now, you can do this in all meetings, except when you're competing. And then if you can see here, there's a red warning. Do not do this when competing in a table topics contest. Otherwise, the timekeeper will start counting and you will be losing precious seconds or even a precious minute or two, and then you will be disqualified. So confirming the table topic will allow you to gain a little bit more time to think on what do you want to speak about the topic, or it helps to kind of, at least for me, it helps to rewire your brain so you can get in proper tune with the topic that you were given. So the first step is to listen, and then the second step is confirm the topic, but do not confirm it if you're competing in a table topics contest. Okay, so remember this. Now, this is one of my favorite steps because I think this is where actually things start to happen. Make a pause. Usually we tell guests, new Toastmasters, that you should take a pause of about 20 to 30 seconds to think on what you're going to say. And this is actually extremely important, even in a contest. Take your time to think. Think about what you're going to say. I have one strategy that has been working for me all of these years. When given the topic, I confirm the topic if I'm at a club, or don't if I'm at a contest. And I think about it, and I think of the way I want to finish my speech. And this has proven helpful for a lot of people. I've been given this advice. I've been a mentor of many Toastmasters, and then they want to start on table topics and become better at table topics. I always say, think. Think about how you want to end your speech. Think about of the message that you want to give your audience at the end. So it's easier once you have an objective, once you have a goal, to mentally prepare a speech to reach that goal. And always have to, it's easier to reach that goal and to start a quality speech. So take your time. Another thing that you can do, especially in a real stage, when you can get together again, is make a dramatic pause. Even if you already have all sorted out in your head what you're going to do. Make a pause, like assume a natural body position, and you can do something like this. People will think, whoa, that person is in deep thought. And then you should raise your head and smile, and then tell it. And this is, I'm not giving you any special hints on how to tell a speech, because everyone here is a Toastmaster, and we do have the idea on how to say a speech. One has to have a clear beginning, a clear development, and then a proper end. Now, table topics, we only have 1 to 2 minutes to say something. So it's a very short amount of time. All of those that have been through the process know that the yellow and the red cards, the yellow and the red lights come all too fast. So having previously thought what you're going to think about, what you're going to say, start saying it. And I'm not giving you any special advice to say that you should be confident. You should address the audience eye to eye. Of course, in Zoom, you should address the camera, so the people will think that you're actually looking at them. You're not, but it's a small ruse for you to be better. So be enthusiastic. Another thing is, don't overthink. Once you sorted out what you're going to say while you're pausing, just tell it and do not stop. Do not think about it. Do not judge yourself. Just go with your first choices. You don't have time, you do not have the time to overdo, to redo, or to say something that you just remembered on the spot. You might try to do it, but it's at your own risk, because you might just make a mess, you might confuse yourself, and then lose the idea that you were going to end the speech with. So this is very important. Less is more, because time is very, very, very short. We don't have time. So be enthusiastic, be brave, eye to eye, do not overthink, do not, I forgot the word in English, that is to do not sabotage yourself into putting a new thing into your speech that you haven't thought of. Now, the final step for a good table topic speech is to have a proper end of the speech. The end, the conclusion of your speech, is the idea that you want your audience to take home with. It's the final message. And this is in a contest, it's where you can win or you can be at second place in a contest. You have to have a final message. But this ending, for me at least, is the ending I've thought on the second stage, on the second step. That is when I was pausing, when I was thinking of what I wanted to talk about. So to sum up, these are the 5 steps, the 5 simple steps for the structure and how to tackle, how to embrace table topics. But now I want to tell you about how to tell it successfully, depending on what the table topic is. So I have another 4 easy and 1 maybe not so easy strategy to tell and end a table topic successfully. I'm okay. Sorry, I had some sound problems that seems to be sorted out. So there are at least 5 strategies, 5 types of answers to a table topic. One of them is to express an opinion. Now, expressing an opinion can be frightening, because especially nowadays that people seem to not to agree with anyone, and everyone seems to be entitled to their very own opinion. Nevertheless, you can express an opinion on a given table topic. Not all table topics will be appropriate for this strategy, but whenever you express an opinion, you have to have a supporting statement. You have to support your opinion. Otherwise, you're just telling something that people will be bored or even distracted and do not care and not care about you. So when I asked Vera the influence of gamma rays on the growth of daisies, she didn't give me an opinion. She gave me another thing. But the topic wasn't suitable for an opinion. An opinion would be, what do you think of hot dogs? So it would give an opinion. I like hot dogs because it's a proper way to eat food on the street. One statement, one supporting statement, 2 at the most. Remember that you have 1 to 2 minutes. This is important, and you should be brief but firm in your supporting statement. So state your opinion, give your supporting statements to that your opinion, and in the end, you reaffirm your opinion and even make a small wrap up of the opinion. In the end, you could say, I like hot dogs because they're a practical way to eat food while walking on the street. So this is the best way to express an opinion in table topics, if the table topic you are asked to do is suitable to express an opinion. Another strategy that you can use depending, of course, on topic, is to address cause and effect. Now, cause and effect can be a simple one or can be tricky, and you have to be careful because there are a lot of, like a domino, there can be a lot of pieces and you can get lost in the process. So again, less is more. Once given the table topic and it's the origin fact, you have to address the cause of the phenomenon and then the effects of that phenomenon. It's like a domino. This causes that. So you do a speech about around this, but remember, be brief, be short, and in the end, say something about the effects and the causes. Then you can do not express an opinion. Try to do a wrap up that is clear to your audience. So this is addressing cause and effect. One of the most used strategies in table topics, and this is a more general tool, is to break the topic into small components. Picking up again the example I gave, the topic I gave Vera, the influence of gamma rays in the growth of daisies, she could pick up, okay, so there's gamma rays and there's daisies. And she could talk about gamma rays are a special kind of radiation that is emitted when a star nearby explodes. And this is a strong thing, a strong influence on the growth of daisies. Now, daisies are flowers, and you could break the topic into small components and talk about each component separately. You don't have to really to interconnect them. You just have to transition between each component, each small component, smoothly in a fashionable way, in a way that in one of those ways that you learn during sessions. So talk about the topics, and in the end, again, make a small wrap up. Give something to your audience about the what you taught. Now, be careful with this because you only have time to talk about two or three components at most. So be careful, carefully choose what you're talking about, and then build up a speech, and in the end, reach a conclusion and give a message to the audience. So this is the breaking into the topic into components tool. Another thing that you can say is discuss the past, present, and future. And this is suitable for a short storytelling. So you do your speech in a chronological way. First, you address past events, past things. Then you talk about the present, which can be the table topic, the topic that you were given. And then you talk about the future. Storytelling relies heavily on a chronological scheme to tell a story. So choose, when you're thinking during the pause, choose what part of the past event, the past thing you want to talk, then transition to the present and then address the future. And here you can give a message of hope. You can give them a call. You can give a call to action to your audience. So this is actually a tool that can be, that is wide, and it's almost like the Swiss Army knife of strategies to address table topics. Discuss in a chronological way, past, present, and future. Another thing that I want to discuss, this past, present, and future are not necessarily which everyone is thinking about. It's your own story. It's your time, it's your speech, so you decide what's past, present, and future. So these four strategies: express an opinion, address cause and effect, break the topic into components, and discuss the past, present, and future in a chronological way, are the four most used strategies for table topics. I have a fifth strategy, the one that I like to use the most, but it's not always suitable. But it's the one that Vera actually used today, is to capture the topic. Some of you were here at the beginning. I asked Vera, and I will state again the topic for those who entered the meeting just a while ago. I asked Vera to tell me something about the influence of gamma rays on the growth of daisies. And what did Vera do? Vera just picked up the theme and made it her own. She said, actually, I'm Daisy. I know she was Daisy, so that's why. But she doesn't know anything, or I think she doesn't know much about gamma rays and the growth of daisies. But what she did was to pick up a concept, a component of the speech. She captured the theme and made a brilliant speech about daisies, about her being a daisy, and about how she likes flowers. And everyone liked the speech. I liked the speech. I thought it was a very successful one. Now, this is a little bit tricky because you have to be coherent. You have to be logical, and you have to be credible when capturing the topic. Do not go too offside, or go if you're using humor. When using humor, you're almost allowed to do anything. So be careful, because sometimes the topic is a little bit serious, and do not go all surrealist on the topic. But this is actually one that I learned the hard way when I was first competing. I was the third speaker, and I did what I thought was a great speech, and I was always on topic. I stated my opinion on the topic, and I thought by the reaction of the audience that I actually did a wonderful speech. Then the next contestant came in, and she did one thing that I thought, whoa, I don't know if this is allowed, but she actually won. When she asked about the bicycles in Aveiro, she told me that the bicycles were actually important because it allowed her little baby to sleep. And then she proceeded to talk about the baby in a heartful, warm, emotional way. That captured the judge's attention, and she won the contest. And she did it again at the national level in Lisbon. And that got me to thinking, okay, I don't have to always follow the topic. I can pick up what's been said to me, and I can make it my own. This one is tricky, but it's one that you should have on your mind whenever what you need to talk about is a little bit difficult, a little bit weird, or you don't know anything about that subject. So remember these 5 strategies to tell an ending successfully. Express an opinion, giving supporting statements for your opinion. You cannot just say, I agree, or I don't agree, or I think. Give the reasons why you think, and then in the end, wrap up. Address cause and effect. There's a phenomenon that has a cause and has an effect. And in the end, give something to your audience to think about. Maybe a challenge, maybe an afterthought about the phenomenon. Or you can break the topic into components. In table topics, especially in a contest, break it into 2, 3 components at most, be brief, and change between the components into a smooth way. In the end, you should always wrap up the topic, the components, to get back to the topic. Again, if you have something to say, you should have a strong message to your audience so they can get home what you said. Discuss past, present, and future. Tell a story. Start in the past, go to the present, end with the future. And in the end, if storytelling, if you're using telling a story, tell the moral of the story, a conclusion, give a call to action, whatever you need. You think it's suitable for your speech, for what you told. Or you can always capture the topic, make it your own, and tell what the hell you want to say about want to say to the audience, including and totally off the record, offside message. But be careful. Do not go too weird. Do not go too off topic unless you're using humor. So I'm going a little bit too fast. I know. I'm sorry about that. But these are my final 5 advices to be table topic proficient. The first one is one that I usually tell my mentees: be aware. It will be always easier for you to be a good table topic speaker if you have a good baggage, a good amount of knowledge of things to talk about, especially if you want to capture the topic. So be aware. Be aware of your audience. This one is a first, but not in the way that usually people say, be aware of your audience so you can address them properly. No, be aware of them. See things like how they're dressed, what objects they are carrying, the way they are behaving, where they are. This can all lead you to your memory banks and remember something to talk about. Be aware of world events. Read the newspapers. Be knowledgeable about your life, about society. Try to have a good amount of things to talk about that will help you build a nice speech. So this is very important. This is the thing that you should do every day. Be aware of the world. Now, when giving a table topic, when speaking on stage, you should be confident. Wear a smile. You're on top of the world. You're the king or the queen of the stage, and you should have the audience at the tip of your fingers, at your hands. Think like this. Be confident. Show confidence. There are some tricks that can be used. I myself, I try to do some power poses before I speak. I picture myself giving a great speech with people applauding me like I was some rock star. Some people need a different kind of stimuli. So remember what makes you confident, what makes you shake off your nerves, and be confident. You got this, you can do it. The third tip is be brief. Do not over-explain things. I've told you this over and over during the other sections of this small presentation. Be brief. 1 to 2 minutes. It's a very short amount of time. So do not dwell too much. Do not try to show your knowledge of everything. Be short. Small is beautiful. Less is more. So be brief. Another thing that can lead you to success in Toastmasters, in table topics, is to be sincere. You have to sound sincere. You have to believe what you're saying. Avoid giving something that is out of character because it will sound fake. Don't be shy to show a small aspect of you. Be sincere. I forgot the word. Be sincere. And the final tip that I think it's really, really important is to practice. Practice again, and then practice some more. Since 2012, I might have made more than 500 table topics. So the ability to talk off the cuff, to speak off the cuff, to build a speech out of something about something that you are not expecting is a thing that you can exercise. In Toastmasters, we like to say that Toastmasters are compared to the speech gymnasium where we're going to at every session to exercise our abilities to speak in public. It's even more important in table topics. Your brain is what the scientists say, it's neuroplastic. It finds ways to interconnect them, the cells interconnect themselves. They create new neuronal paths, and practice is the best way to do it. So if you want to succeed at table topics, jump into every opportunity that you have to do a speech. Don't mind if you're not good enough at the beginning, or if you think you're not good enough at the beginning. Just go, exercise your brain. And I can assure you that in no time, you will be much more successful, much more proficient. And in ordinary life, in daily life, you will be using that ability to construct, to give an answer, to give an explanation to whatever you do. When you have to speak without warning, without counting on it. So be aware of the world, be aware of the people around you, be confident, be brief, be sincere, and practice again, and then practice some more. So these are the 15 pieces of mind the peace of mind that I can give it to you about being table topics proficient. This is my name, this is my club, and this is my contact if you want to know more. And now I would like to talk to you. So do you have any questions? And maybe do some table topics because we have some time. Any questions, please? I'm open to Pablo.
I have a question, Paulo.
Yes.
Sometimes in the table topics, normally not in the ones in contest, but sometimes in the clubs, we do these debates and supporting one side, supporting the other. And there is this point of sincere that you mentioned, that sometimes you need to support an idea that you don't really get along with. In that case, what would be your tips to actually show that you are sincere? Although, of course, everybody will notice that you are not. But what would be your ideas to show sincereness?
That's actually a tricky one. The thing is, try for a moment. I mean, this is tricky. This is not easy, but unless the side you're supposed to represent, the opinion is actually too opposite of your own, it's on the extreme opposite. Try to believe that side for a minute or two. I mean, put yourself into a mind frame that you're actually believing what you're saying. It's like, sometimes it's like I don't want to sound rude or anything, but when we were younger, or those who are single, we see someone that interests us. So we go over there and try to have a talk, and that person might sometimes ask you something that you're not prepared, and sometimes you kind of lie or exaggerate something about yourself, or you don't know how sure that you're not sure how that people think. So you will try to get along with that person. So remember that thing. I think all of us have passed through that. So remember that thing. So I'm not actually saying that I'll try for you to lie, but that's actually what I'm saying. For a moment, really believe the side you're supporting, and speak from your heart like you believe it. It's just for a small moment. It's just for a minute or two. It
like
will not
actor.
harm you. Okay, it's like an actor, actually. Yeah. Thank you. It's like an actor. You have to impersonate another person and believe, at least fake it till you make it. Fake it for a little bit. This is actually, I don't believe this is actually lying, but fake it for a while. So if you fake that you believe, if you're able to channel your emotions, and remember the emotion that you feel when you're actually talking about actually that you really do believe, if you're able to at least channel some of that emotion to your statement, then I think you'll be sincere enough to support a side, an opinion, or whatever that you don't actually believe in. And that is, I think that's somewhat, I'm not an expert on debate, but from what I've been reading, that's actually a strategy that some of the good debaters do use. It's to, for a moment, they will believe the side they're on.
Thank you, Paulo.
That
Definitely.
I helped you.
Playing an actor.
Yes, you have to play an actor. Actually, if you think about it, sometimes a speech is kind of an acting moment, right? So, any more questions? Who has any more questions? Vera? Oh, Autumn. Hi. Hello.
Hello. Thank you so much for the webinar today. I had a quick question when you talked about pausing before you speak to plan out what you want to say. At most, and I've been a Toastmaster for 4 years now, so I have experience, but even still, at most, I have just a ghost of an idea of what I want to talk about. So how much do you actually plan out before a table topic?
My technique, the one that actually works for me, well, the one that works most of the times is to, when someone gives me a table topic, for example, you asked me to talk about the leather industry in Argentina, and I don't know anything about the leather industry in Argentina, so I have to think of a way, how do I get out of this? So I pause, and I can think of something that might be absurd, or I can say, no, I'm going to make out a story about leather in Argentina, because most of the audience wouldn't know anything about the topic also. Okay, so what's in play here is not the truth or the veracity of what you're going to say, but your speech as a whole. If it has a good beginning, a development, and then ending, and if it's a coherent, a cohesive speech. So this has to do, maybe in your case, with, do not judge yourself. You have a ghost of an idea, okay? It's just a ghost, so stick to it and make it corporeal, make it your own. Pick up the ghost and put it in you. And just for a moment, as I told Pablo, believe that that's your final idea. You're not in table topics. It's not like a speech where you prepare yourself. You want to give a call to. You want to give a call to action. No, it's just a moment when you have to express something in a hurry, off the cuff. So do not judge yourself. Okay, I have a ghost and an idea. This is what I've got. Okay, so I'll stick to this. And this is what I want to talk about. So how am I going to end it? Or what do I know about this subject? And then tell it. But remember that you should have a good conclusion. You should send the audience a small message, a small statement, something in the end, a conclusion. It can be your ghost of an idea that all through the topic it will gain body and it will be a real idea. No matter how odd, absurd, or off topic it is, use one of the strategies. Capture the topic for yourself. Make it your own. Okay, because I don't think anybody will be judging the idea. What's on the stake is the way that you speak, not your idea, not your personality. So let those ideas, that judgment of yourself go, and go with the flow. Just tell it like it is. I hope that helped you, that answered your question. If not, I'm here to help you again. Autumn?
It answered part of it. I guess the other part of it would be, are you actually deciding what your conclusion is even before you start speaking? Or is that part of just being off the cuff? You have your idea, that's good enough, and then the rest is improvisation.
In my case, 8 out of 10 times, I know exactly how I'm going to end my speech. That's what works for me. That's what has been working for me for the past 8 years. I've been a Toastmaster since 2012, and I started competing in 2012. I was just thrown to the pit because I didn't have to have the 6 speeches ready to compete in table topics. I was thrown out to the arena, and I can say that 8 out of 10 oftentimes I think about how I'm going to end it, on the way I'm going to end it, and then I build up the speech to reach that conclusion. Another thing is I've tested this. As a table topics master, I've written sentences, a short sentence, and given to the speaker and tell them exactly, end the speech exactly with this sentence. And what struck me as the most amazing is that how much faster people start talking and how better the speeches were. So yes, for me, I've seen it working. It works for me. I know I think exactly on how the hell am I going to end my speech, and the rest flows in a much easier way. Also, there's another advice that I didn't put on the presentation is it's part of the be aware. Okay, so you have to be aware of things, be aware of the world, and try to have 1 or 2 or even 3 creative, there's a friend of mine that called it creative objects, things that you know, that you like, and that can inspire you, and try to use them in the topic, in the speech, that will help you reach the conclusion that you want in the end. And that's actually a fundamental part on capturing the topic, is to state the topic and then works toward your creative goal, the thing that you really want to say, and then you're prepared to say it. Because you can actually prepare in advance a small speech. You just have to have the ability, by practicing on how to capture a topic and give it the direction that you want towards your creative object. I hope that this can help you.
I thought that was very helpful. Thank you.
Thank you. Any more questions? Anyone who wants to ask more about how to speak at table topics? Clara?
Yeah, thank you. Well, I was wondering how this captured the topic, because every time I'm presented with a word that maybe I don't know the meaning, or maybe I don't know exactly, maybe I know the meaning, but I don't know exactly anything else further than the meaning. I was always worrying what to tell about this issue that was super strange for me, and I was super astonished that you mentioned that capture the topic was allowed, and in fact it could lead you to win some competition. So yeah, I wanted to ask that if you are faced with a word that it's not only you have a vague idea, you don't have absolutely any kind of clue of the meaning or anything, you are like shocked, it's the first time ever you have listened to that word, then what can you do? Because capture the topic, it's a little bit difficult if it's the first time ever that you listen to that word.
Okay. Now, thank you, Clara, for your question. The thing is, I want to ask you for clarification is, you're talking about a specific word, a single word. Is that right, Clara?
Yeah, but because you have told us that sometimes the table topic proposition is a single word. So okay. If that single word is specifically that.
Okay, in that case, it's the second step of the strategy. You have to confirm the topic. Not in a contest, of course. In a contest, you won't be able to confirm, because the timekeepers will start counting, and also the contest master won't be there on the stage to help you. But within the club, when the table topics come, if you don't know the meaning of the word, just ask the table topics master, what does that mean? Confirm. Okay, and then you pause, and then you think about what you want to say. This is actually very important. Don't be afraid to ask the table topics master, what was that? What you're saying? That word? I don't know that word. Can you please explain that to me, so I can prepare my speech? I think this is actually very important, and I see very few people doing this whenever they're confronted with an unknown word, or actually an unknown concept, or a topic that is way too strange for them to speak about.
Yeah, not only with words. Sometimes it has happened to me by having to imitate some famous people that I'm too young to know, and then I have had to figure out about words. For example, I haven't been faced in front of this kind of words, but in our club we have, let's say, the day word, and sometimes these day words are strange words that I don't know, and I imagine myself facing in front of those day words in the table topic, and then I get stressed.
Well, in that case, you can ask for clarification, and if it's a completely unknown word, you could ask for an example of the usage of the word. I think the word of the day. I don't know if the grammarian in your club is the grammarian, or if you have a role, a single role for word of the day. But when given, that word should be given with examples on how to use, on the significance on the meaning of the word. So that will help you. But even if it's not just a word, if it's a strange subject in the club, you should confirm. You should ask the table topics master for some clarification to confirm for you to, in order to build your speech.
Thank you.
Yes, so please do not be afraid. Also, you mentioned now that sometimes you're too young to remember some famous people of old. Well, just never mind. Just tell a story. You can always tell. Yes, I do not know. I'm too young to know that person, but I'm going to talk about this other person that I know. And then you've captured the topic in a right, easy way, because you have the credibility to be young, and it's justifiable that you don't know that person, because hey, that happened like 50 years ago, and you're only on your 20s, so you have no obligation to know that. So okay, I don't know who the hell was Wells Fargo, but I know this guy that I'm talking about, and you can actually win a table topic doing that, because you justified your it's not in ignorance. Okay, I don't know, but here, instead of this, I will talk about this. So it's a strategy. You capture the topic, and if you do a good speech, that's what matters. Anyone else wants to?
I guess there are another question here on the spot.
I think I have some questions here.
Yeah, question. How can you focus on everything? Structure, vocal variety, body language, message during 2 minutes? Thank you.
Well, that comes with practice. I have no other advice to you. It's actually you have to practice enough. So that's part of the brain thing that I was telling you. The more you practice, the more your brain builds neuronal paths, builds new ways of thought, and at the end of some time, it varies from person to person, you will have that brain muscle well trained, so you can focus on the structure. But remember, there are some tricks that you can use. You have the introduction, which is of course the beginning. You can repeat the table topics. Verda could say, the influence of gamma rays on the growth of daisies, huh? For example, she could have used it, and this is the introduction, and then she could proceed to speak whatever she wanted to. So, And then when you're going to speak, remember, because there's such a short amount of time, you can only talk about one or two topics at most, one or two things at most during the speech. And your conclusion should be related and coherent to these two topics, and eventually to the topic or not, if you captured it. So remember, it's just be brief. Less is more. Do not tell everything that you know about the subject or a topic, or that you remembered about the topic. Just choose one or two. If they're really, really short, use 3, but do not advise it to you. It's better to do a great speech in 1.5 minutes than a good speech in 3 minutes. This is in table topics, of course. So I hope I have answered your question. Just be brief. Do not be over ambitious, and practice, because you will get there. The things will become more automatic, and for you, the more you practice. Any other question?
I guess that we need a table topic. I'm not going to volunteer again because I've done that in the beginning of the webinar.
Okay, so it's
volunteer for sure.
It's 7 o'clock, so we're almost at the end. So who wants to speak in a table topic? Who dares? Not Vera, because Vera was already spoke. What about
Clara?
Rui?
Clara, I see hands on. Clara.
Clara, where are you? Oh, now
Yeah,
I see you.
Trying. I'm not an expertise, but if no one is volunteer, I can try it, but I'm not an expertise at all.
Yeah, you are. Practice.
Yes, of course. Clara. The topic for today is the Eurovision Song Festival. The Eurovision Song Festival. Clara.
As humans that we are, we love competing to each other, and we also love being creative. So Eurovision is one example of our human nature. It joins both interests of our human species. One interest is, at first sight, can seem a little bit bad or danger, but because it's competing to each other, but in fact, it's a good way to challenge ourselves to improve. And then the other fact that it's being evaluated in the Eurovision contest is our creativity and art. So we have to challenge ourselves to improve our creativity while singing. So I think it's a good way to join all together and grow, improve all together by giving us some feedback to each other.
Thank you, Clara. Very nice. Oh, thank you, Clara, for, I think she deserves 2 rounds of applause because she was asking questions and then she dared to do a table topic. So nice, Claudia. Thank you for your wonderful speech. Another thing, and just to close this webinar, remember that what we do at Toastmasters, the thing that actually gives us, I used to say that that's our core business, is giving feedback. Some of the clubs do not provide feedback on table topics, or at least they not provide feedback on table topics yet. And that's a thing that should be introduced at all the clubs. So if you happen to be in a club that doesn't evaluate table topics, start doing it, because you will help your membership, your members. You will help people who want to take this, who want to take impromptu speeching seriously. Give them feedback. if you don't have time for an evaluation, for a spoken evaluation during the session, just nominate some table topics evaluators that in the end will give a small written evaluation, small written feedback for the speakers. I don't think you have more time today for more questions. I'm asking Vera if you have some time, I can answer another question.
5 minutes to finish, I guess. But okay, if no one has a question, we can finish. Okay, with all the compliments that you are receiving on the chat.
Yes, because I'm trying to look at the camera and look at you. I'm not actually.
But no, you have to look at the compliments that you are receiving on the chat.
Thank you. Oh, people have been are actually very kind. So again, okay, I think this is the time to say thank you for being present. Thank you for listening to me, and what I thank you also for your questions. I hope that I was helpful. You have my contact in the presentation that I will send Vera, and I believe you will say that. I don't know if you want me to put it on the chat, the presentation.
Maybe you can do that now.
Yeah. Yes, let me put it.
But after that, I can share it also with everyone if you allow me to do that.
Yes, let me this is not working. Wait.
You are doing that. I'm just going to read out loud some compliments here on the chat. Thank you so much for the webinar, Paulo. First time listening you, and certainly not the last. Learned a lot. Thank you for the amazing insights, very helpful and clearly explained. So are you happy now?
I'm happy. I'm happy for you to give me to be given the opportunity to do this webinar on such a thing on table topics, which is actually my best thing, my favorite thing at Toastmasters. So
very educational,
thank you,
Vera. We are now more aware. Thank you. Parabéns. Well done, congrats, excellent workshop.
Thank you.
Thanks from Spain, it has been amazing. Hope to see you soon. So I guess that we can end this webinar in this good mood. And definitely we have learned a lot. Thank you so much, Paulo, for taking this challenge. It was an easy challenge for you, I know, because you really love table topics. So thank you so much for being here. It has been an amazing workshop. And I have to tell you that I have already scheduled the next one. It is going to happen on the 29th of March, but I will let you know all the details soon. The topic, the time, it is going to happen at the same time as every webinar, but I will let you know what we are going to learn on the 29th of March. So thank you so much for being here. Have a great Sunday. It's almost ending, but most of all, have a great week. And hope to see you again soon. Thank you, Paulo.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.